Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and we've got turn 62 of Skids, and we've managed to rally everyone. No stales this turn. So let's go ahead and hop on in. We get 3 messages from Xibalba. 186 slaves again this turn. I'm going to start building boosters so I can spam disease demons at any commanders. Okay. Pretty strong spell. I'm also moving my troops to the Hinnom border. The idea is to strike the Mekone throne and pop it in one turn and then get the 2 thrones from Hinnom. The heist must be perfect. So he's come to the same conclusion that I have over the past couple of turns. So let's see how well he executes. And it does make sense that he took a couple of turns, get his Dominion spread, get Unrest knocked down, get Bloodhunting set up, consolidate a bit. All right. And 199 and 201 and one more of the Hinnom thrones, which looks hard at the moment. Yeah, I wasn't seeing a lot of options beyond those 3 either. In terms of the Mekone throne and the 2 Hinnom thrones. Okay. Other than that, though, no attacks from Xibalba, or between Xibalba and Helheim, so that part is over. We do have 2 attacks from onto Helheim. So let's go ahead and see how it goes. But yeah, a lot of Hinnom action this turn. And I anticipate a lot of these Hinnom forces are going to get cleared up, which is going to make it very hard for Hinnom to defend his thrones. And this is, whoops, a little bit of a classic thing that can happen in games where somebody will throne rush, the lobby rallies to stop them, but the amount of resources expended stopping them ends up preventing the lobby from stopping a second person throne rushing. So in this case, what it's going to take, what's going to be required is a huge effort from in terms of pressuring Xibalba, and then a big effort from Mekone to defend, because I'm not sure if there's many other people in the area who can try to help. And I believe this one's called like Imprinted Souls or Imprinted Minds or something like that. And you get a bunch of these guys that run around slapping people with fishes. And the fishes hurt enough that these giants have decided that maybe they don't want to deal with these fanatics. All right. So 14 Blackhawks go down. None of the PD goes down, but the madmen end up taking the province. Then we've got Gilgad, so Hinnom attacking. Got a group of long dead archers and a bunch of Dawnguard. And they're just killing, I think, probably 1 PD again. Mostly curious to see if anyone got hit by the decay effect. In Salt Plains, got another group. What are you doing? Earth Power, Earth Elemental? Okay. They probably left a little bit early. So, but didn't matter. It was just 1 PD. Wait, we just watched that, right? Yeah. Okay, so in Midland, let's see, we've got a couple of Berytos groups. So the elite soldiers are back now without mage support. A Mirror Pale 1 commander, but they're only going up against 1 PD, so not a big issue. In Furia as well. This is a group of Draconians killing some PD. I don't think we need to care. Okay. With Karnag, we've got Marverni attacking Hinnom. Little group of boars. These boars are always tougher than they think they are. Okay. In Toledo, we've got Berytos attacking Hinnom. So a lot of attacks going up against Hinnom. We do have a Melkart defending this time. So probably a bunch of dead draconians. Alright. So Hinnom defends that one. In Flemistan, we've got Marverni attacking Hinnom. Another group of boars. Ooh, but also running into another mail cart. So this guy's got 2 swords of swiftness. So each one of these has 2 attacks, so 5 attacks per turn, which is a lot of empiric weapons. Now the 2 attacks from each sword of swiftness can only target 1 opponent, but it just makes it highly likely that the Melkart kills 3 per turn. Alright, where was that? That was here. So yeah, it kills 21 of the boars. Does not kill the great boar, though. Alright. Wait. I think I looked at the wrong one. Wait, where did we leave off? Alright, so a bunch of boars die. This Great Hawk goes away. And then I guess we already kind of spoiled it. We got another boar raid. Another boar raid. And then we've got Draconians and boars. Alright, so Trent Spore. Now, the boars cannot trample the Draconians. And I am wondering if they jump on the commander. They don't. But Draconians are size 6. And these boars are size 5. So it becomes a gore attack, length 0, against a venomous bite that does as much as 20 slashing. And then, although that's kind of weird, maybe it should do piercing, but I don't know. Then we've got talons, and the talons should probably be slashing. I think these are backwards. I've looked at Draconians so much and I've never noticed. Anyways, but the talons, yeah, okay. I don't know. This seems weird to me. That said, they've got 2 much higher damage attacks at 11 attack versus the gore, which is also 11 attack. So they're just more killy. And they've got 45 hit points versus a 20 hit point boar. Alright. Draconians clear that up. They kill the great boar, so that's a future source of great boars killed. In Vangar, we got attacking Helheim. The Trader Prince with some Meteorite Guard. A whole bunch of mages here. Here's all the gear on everyone. You can see the Helheim mage here. So Death 3, Glamour 4. Doesn't look like he got new gems put on him. Dark Skies is still up, which is kind of funny. So yeah, we've got a ton of Earth Elementals. And the Earth Elementals are interesting because they have a magic attack Crystal Fist. But not very high attack, and it's just the 1 attack. So without all the other stuff harassing down the elves, they're probably going to find it hard to hit with that. They're also size 6, so they're rarely going to use this. They're generally going to try to trample, which is probably the better effect against elves. Alright. And the assassination of the elves continues. Let's see, so 2 Scorpion Beasts go down along with a Meteorite Guard, but they kill all 4 elves. And they might have gotten some loot out of this White Mage, which I'm sure they'll like, especially a Glamour booster. Let's see. Where did we leave off? That was the first Helheim attack. So now we're on Swineland. Alright, the Grand Moff, killing 1 PD. In Uliatham, we've got another crew. Was it Gudus? This time it's going to be a lot of air elementals and fewer earth, but also a lot of imps and long dead still. However, there's many more Helheim mages here. Let's see, do they have gear on them? Not a lot of gear on them. Well, this one's fully kitted. It's the Frost Father, who's holding up Dark Skies. Okay. So the Frost Father can definitely be hard to kill. Again, another like really good loot opportunity. There's both of these double air boosters and some pretty nice kit elsewhere. Let's see how. Yes, that the Manticore. I don't think we looked at the Manticore, but this is the Manticore we've seen. I mean, we haven't looked at him this turn. Let's see. This little guy could end up being pretty important for killing this Earth Elemental. Or he could die. No, he got pushed. Right? No, that looks like a different one. Alright. So it looks like Ur's going to clear this. Might get some pretty substantial loot out of it. In particular, the air boosters might be helpful for breaking into high air, if he hasn't already. And that could really be helpful for trying to stop a throne rush. But we'll see. It's like the Manicore is like, I'll go do it myself kind of attitude. The Death Poison Stinger. What is going on with this horse? 17 protection. It's not that crazy. I don't know if it's just proccing luck over and over again. It's got 0 defense. It's so harassed down. It should just be dying. Let's see. It's just getting insane protection rolls. That's so funny. Or I guess no one else is getting lucky damage rolls. Luck negated. There we go. This is so ethereal negated. This horse refuses to die. One damage. Oh, this is funny. Ethereal negated. Okay. That was funny though. Alright. So Helheim loses the Frostfather, loses a bunch of other mages. Presumably, or we'll get some loot out of this, although a lot of those commanders had a lot of gear. So it could have been useful to bring some ungeared commanders, maybe try and pick up more stuff, especially some of the research boosters as well. All right, Nardago. We've got Mekone attacking Fomoria. So we've got Imp Spam combined with these Storm Drakes. We're just going to go after a little bit of PD. Alright. Then Range of Light. Interesting combo using the LLP with the Storm Drakes. And not something you'd expect from Mekone. Alright, we've got a Golem. Who's going to kill 1 PD. Let's see. And then in Ledia, we've got Berytos coming back to life. Very happy to see it. We got a Berytos Melkart killing 1 PD. In World Pillar, we've got, let's say, another band of elite soldiers killing 1 PD. I mean, this should do wonders for his income this turn. Then we've got a couple attacks from Hinnom into Gray Barrier. So we've got an S2, but I don't think there was anything there. And Ripe Woods, another little group. We've seen this group. I think it's just 1 PD. I kind of want to see what the Gray Barrier Mage was doing. If it was just body ethereal. Or if it was maybe some... Okay, this is the Bark Skin group. Okay, so maybe it's advancing cast. Interesting. Alright. Then Berytos in the Promised Land. Another band of Draconians killing 1 PD. Not a lot of counter raiding groups being put out by players this game. And we've got Hinnom storming the throne. So we've got a whole bunch of these Dustwalkers. We've got big heat auras. We've got a big Earth Mage to buff them all. And we've got 3 Melkarts. We've got an Akka, a number of Roughite Warriors, and some Long Dead Archers. Inside the fort, we've got a large number of Mechanical Men, Astral 3 Druid, an Astral 4 Druid, or Elder Druid, I think. Another Elder Druid, this one with air gems. I mean, Soulslay could be pretty nasty. I think this should be too much stuff. How hard do these guys hit? 21 versus 18 protection. They should whittle down the mechanical men. Let's go ahead and take a watch, though. Got Marble Warriors, which is not Marble Army, which is kind of what I was hoping to see from Hinnom. But Marverni puts up Hell, which should show up outside the walls, so you can see all the wolves here, which should help for distracting Hinnom. And then we've got Light of the Northern Star. So the wolves can do a lot for helping negate some stuff. And then we've got Solar Brilliance. Oh. But it goes down immediately. We had a flying Melkart get in here. Alright. And I think he killed that Elder Druid right off the rip. Killed Elder Druid. So soon as Solar Brilliance went up, let's see. Oh, so we had Fool's Luck, and then, which negated the damage, and then it doubled the damage. Gosh, 90 points of damage to an old man. Alright, so this has threatened a big part of the communion that was supposed to cause the attrition to this army. Nice little piece of scripting. A little bit of luck too, but still nice. Gifts from Heaven definitely doing some damage though. But Hinnom's gonna clear this up. And kill a bunch of Elder Druids in the process. And I still think a large reason that he was able to pull this off is because that army traveled so far south. It wasn't able to respond. And he might be at a tech level where he could gateway, but it was out in the field as well. Alright. So the gifts from heaven, maybe heat auras and some other stuff. They claim the Akka, a Mound King. Was that 22 of the Dustwalkers, 15 all the long dead archers were killed, and 3 of the Roughite warriors. But doesn't lose any of the Melkarts, which is important. And takes out 3 Elder Druids. I think it's some nice, a little bit of gear potentially. And 6 regular Druids, along with 75 mechanical men. So killed quite a bit of stuff too. So solid win for Hinnom. And that, I believe that gets him his 5th throne. Or 4th throne. Because he lost one to Marverni and he's sieging one from Fomoria. Okay, and then we've got Mekone attacking Tianchi again. Or pinging. And as we can see here, I think that the cat is using whatever few gems that they have, and they've picked up some winter wolves as well. So continuing to summon whatever he can. Alright. Maybe making sure the cat is inside? I'm not sure. Okay, let's, I guess I kind of spoiled this one, but we've got a barbarian attack. I was just surprised at how much stuff died. Griffins are extremely killing, and they've got 44 hit points, but I guess 2 barbarians hitting them will probably, maybe 2 or 3 barbarians would kill one. But, I mean, they also had the potential to kill 3 barbarians, so I wasn't expecting quite so many to die. So 12 go down. Then in Silver Fangs, got another pack of barbarians. Alright. So they end up killing a crystal sorceress. Might have just been recruited or something. So, or it was site searching and wasn't scripted. And we get more bad luck. Alright. Ooh, we've got an assassination down here. So this guy's got a lantern. He gets found by some horror mantises who are phenomenally killy. It's not AP damage at least, but it is 4 magic attacks with high attack. And they have fear. And they scale well in magic scales, and this was not magic scales. But other than that, let's see, we've got still a bunch of stuff kind of gathering down here. I do wonder, including a behemoth, I do wonder if he plans to mobilize all this stuff, like everything he's got, to execute this throne rush. We'll have to wait and see. But we do see a giant mass of troops gathering in Star Peaks and in Felden Forest. And potentially kind of like just out of sight of the front lines. So Pergamy's a good one because it doesn't share a border with Mekone or unlike these two. So this might be like the reinforcing group that maybe holds the retreat route, something like that. And then, let's see. But now Hinnom's got another throne for him to potentially target. So he could look to that throne, although it's not an easy capture, that's for sure. And then I think we've got potentially some stuff thinking about gathering over here. If we see it consolidate in Dragon Scale Mountains, maybe that's close enough to get to World's Teeth. Another option is maybe you just take Copper Canyons, except that people might have some time to respond, and then you go try and take Sitha. I think that, I mean, he might not know it, but I think that's the riskier option, given the tech level that Berytos is at. And if Berytos was able to respond, because he can still, you know, he might have enough boots and stuff like that where he could get all the mages in the shed, even if the Terracotta Warriors can't make it. And he could put up a hell of a fight for pretty much anyone, I would think, given his research lead. Layering a whole bunch of buffs. Otherwise, yeah, we do have what looks like an army. I don't know if this is the one from Gol Rayape, but it seems like this army is gathering here and is probably going to go try and take Nilmeria. And then we've got a bunch of raids out from Hogoria and kind of along the border here. I think he's starting to move into Marverni, so maybe he's not caring about what Marverni considers theirs too much anymore, because I'm pretty sure he never, yeah, this is Marverni's cap circle. So I think he's just raiding to raid. I think I endorse Marverni. This army's coming back home now, so it should, I think, be able to free Grey Barrier. I'm sure Hinnom's going to be able to deploy some troops here. He still hasn't cracked Kasevik Highlands. And Fomoria has managed to free stuff in Fomoria. So Hinnom keeps surprising me. Stonetroll has always been good at surprising me. But I have to wonder if he's got enough stuff to finish off this throne push he's been going for, because he's got 3. I believe he still has not claimed the Iron Throne. So he would need to finish taking Grey Barrier. He needs to claim Sitha, or I guess retake Grey Barrier. And then he would have to take Kasevik Highlands. And then he would win the game. Unfortunately, unless he does this pretty quickly, I think there's high odds that Xibalba rolls in and squashes those dreams. But we'll have to see. Is a natural ally for Hinnom, because they're on opposite ends of the world from each other. So maybe diplomatically, Hinnom could be making some overtures to to try and contain Xibalba. We do have a giant army in Helheim that could potentially come and try to help Resting Heights. So that could be risky for Xibalba. Especially if it moved over Felden Forest. Like, yeah, it would give away the script, but it would also make it so Xibalba couldn't magic face you with, I don't know, Winds of Death or something, if you were sitting on this fort. He would have to anticipate the move and have someone here, or he would have to meet you in Resting Heights. But then that's where his army would be. Another move, I think a quality move for to make would be to maybe put a fort here in Forest of Long Nights. I think this is a little bit too far away, but just having a border and an army next to this throne, I think would be good as because you're not a threat for winning. Unfortunately, because of the throne placement in the game and where things got put down, but he borders quite a few thrones. So he borders Pranda, borders Nilmeria, and also borders Resting Heights. So I think from perspective, you have to prepare yourself to prevent other people from winning the game. Also borders Winden. So I don't know. I think these armies are too... And like, yeah, he lost a big army in Old Man Mountains, but I think there's some argument to be made that you should re-put an army here and fort it. But a lot of these concentrations he has are 2 away, which in my mind maybe aren't quite close enough. Now, having a centralized grouping like this does let you mobilize a lot of stuff cohesively in a direction. But I still like the idea of being in place to stop throne rushes at this stage of the game. Because as long as the game continues, still has a chance to just outscale everyone and win the game. But if you're too far away to stop a throne rush, then that prevents you from stopping the game from ending. I am curious, so assuming Mekone can finally figure out this cat, I am curious where this army gets put. If it gets put in Winden, or if it comes down here to try and take forts, it's going to be horrendously out of position to protect Resting Heights. He might have the ability, a Crystal Sork with enough boosters, if he's broken into some of the higher end boosters, would be able to gateway all the giants at least up to Resting Heights. But there's not even a lot of mages in here. So I am somewhat concerned that Mekone might be out of position to defend because of the focus that Tianchi and Fomoria have forced from him. And then Hinnom's also distracted, so I'm worried about Hinnom's ability to defend as well. Although this Inkpot and diseasing a whole bunch of Xibalba stuff. Now the Ocelotls won't care, but Sacred Scorpions and stuff might. Alright. But yeah, I think that's most of this turn. We do have Berytos here. I have to imagine Berytos probably doesn't know much about Xibalba. He would be another natural ally for Xibalba, but he might not know. Because he's also a blood power, he might not be as threatened by it. But his army marching off to take Dilmeria would also put him out of position for stopping a Xibalba throne rush at Sitha. So, depending on the timing that Xibalba does this with, he could get very lucky where no one's home anywhere, pretty much. Except for this Hinnom army here, because of the Marverni army. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm pretty sure if this army comes back to Great Barrier, we might see this army get mobilized. And then no one's going to be home for the most part. We're going to have some rough fights. I guess we've got a Baal here. This could be, yeah, it looks like blood hunting too, but there's not very much pop here. So it's not very efficient. All right, let's check out the graphs. For provinces, we've got Hinnom on a big decline, got counter-rated. While the players haven't been putting out raiding parties in their own territory to catch enemy raids very often, he did get counter-rated a lot. So players went and retook stuff this turn. So put him back, I think, was this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Put him back to where he was like 5 turns ago. And then also below the peak that Hinnom was at. And we can see a lot of that was Berytos this turn. All right. And then for our forts, we've got Xibalba, Hinnom, Berytos, and A blood power like Xibalba, where they have flying sacreds, having this many forts is pretty scary. But Berytos is also pretty scary right now. Let's see. And then for income, we've got way out in front. And then the middling pack of Mekone, Xibalba, Berytos, and Hinnom, pretty much everyone else. And then we've got our players that are dying, I guess. For gem income, we've got way out in front. They just retook a bunch of their gems. Xibalba lost some gems to that barbarian attack. And Berytos gained some gems from raiding. Not a lot of gem-rich lands, but probably gold-rich. Yeah. And then for blood income, we see a huge spike from Xibalba. So he'll be able to turn all of this into Ocelotls for his Throne Rush push. And he might be getting Oniki in the right spots to be able to lead those Ocelotls for that final push. And then for research, we've got Berytos way out in front still, followed by Fomoria, Marverni, Mekone, and Helheim. For Dominion, we've got Xibalba, and Hinnom. Army size is Xibalba, and Berytos. So I expect to see this escalate even further for Xibalba next turn. And then for Ascension points, we've got Xibalba out in front. So yeah, pretty curious. I'm looking forward to seeing Xibalba try to execute this. I'm pretty sure we're on a similar wavelength, at least, for how to get it done. Um, where you've got Copper Canyons, which should be reasonably easy. You've got the Mekone throne, and then it's trying to figure out which of these, I guess, like 3 to go for. This one has the upside that, well, actually, this one's probably the hardest one to take right now, as far as Hinnom goes. I don't see Melkarts in this. There is an Etten. But, you know, this is really close to Hinnom itself, so you'll probably have to fight Melkarts and Rephi warriors. Yeah, there's Melkart here. So this is fighting into Hinnom's interior. But then this one is technically owned by Marverni, so Marverni might fight over it, but it's also the most centralized geographically. This one's probably the easiest to get to. A good throne rush might go for 2 out of these 3 or all 3, but you want to make a good effort on each one. He might not have enough stuff to do that. And the movement speed might be an issue. I don't know that these big scorpions can make it that far. I'd have to look up the summon to find its map move, but it's probably like 10 or 12 if I had to guess. So I think a lot of this is going to have to be done with, like, the Sacred Scorpions could show up the next turn to defend, but maybe you rush it with Ocelotl, and then you raid a bunch of the stuff around. He should have good scout coverage. Bats have really nice scouts. These, I guess they're not technically scouts. They are kind of expensive, but these Batab are stealthy, so he should have pretty good coverage for what he wants to attack, just from having commanders. He's got a whole bunch of long dead just off that could also join in. Which one would I go for? With the knowledge I have as Omniscience, because I mean he might not know about Berytos's research, so this army might be kind of scary, and there's the potential Berytos could come and help. This one's just really far away. We're talking, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 away is pretty far to get to. I mean, you're talking 2 or 3 turns just to get there. So probably from here and then push into World's Teeth, is my guess. But that'll make it pretty obvious. I think you want to do this push with only Ocelotls, maybe. Or maybe you just take Copper Canyons and then you push on Sitha with mostly Ocelotls and try to clear the surrounding area. It's tricky. 2 of them are easy, but the third one is definitely not easy. And a lot of this is complicated by the fact that just doesn't have any thrones in his area. And so it's hard to execute a throne rush as a neighbor of because you can't attack to get any thrones. I mean, Barren Crags is even pretty far away. It could be, like, if this goes well, though, you could try to distract and go over to Barren Crags. I don't know. We'll just have to see what he ends up doing. Looking forward to it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.